Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we go on with a journey in E major, and remember this approach what I'm following here now is this more linear approach to harmony. So in a way we look at the Western harmony with its functions like subdominant, dominant, and so on, but not in a that we play all these chords, but actually like very connected with that. Of course, we play more this more in a melodic way, and also sometimes try to more to think more as a kind. This kind of a in this more modal context to also kind of bridge the gap to other cultures like Indian music and Turkish music. So yeah, as we all already discussed, I mean, like for example, like in jazz, there it is very clear this idea of chord scale that we have, like this that a chord equals a scale, or it's always for every chord there is a kind of a scale fitting, or as a jazz musician at least you search for the which scale goes along with which chord, and also the other way around, that you have a scale, for example, and then you immediately think, okay, what kind of a chord is this belonging to? So like this vertical or horizontal arrangement of the same notes, you can say. One is more linear, melodic, scale-wise. The other is more vertical as a chordal structure. And in Western music, of course, more like this tertian harmony, stacking up thirds. Yeah, so a melody is going like more or less in seconds, major, minor, and augmented seconds, and chords are built in thirds, but when we do 7 thirds or 7 seconds, we reach the starting point, I mean the starting note. So it's the same material. Okay, by the way, before I forgot it, there is also a PDF down in the description below. There's a link there you can download this PDF for this lesson, and of course this also helps to support my channel here. What we are talking today is not really something I'm using in my music. So I was thinking a lot about whether I should include that in my whole collection here or not. But I decided to include it because the idea here with dealing with this tonal material, with the major and the minor tonality, E minor we had, and now E major. The idea is actually to look for all the different kinds of sounds, possibilities, and extensions of the I mean, without losing the key, without losing the tonality. Of course, we can always modulate. We can do anything. We can play any chord going to any other chord. But the idea here actually is to really understand what does a certain key, major or minor, what kind of chords are all belonging to that. And of course, the first step, the first thing is just using the diatonic tones, like in E major using these seven notes and constructing chords from that, and so we also have already all the chord scales like the church modes, but there is like an extended there is a sort of extended tonality where we are not yet modulating, not yet in another key, still thinking in the basic tonality, basic key, but using different notes, going a bit out, extending the whole field, but without losing it, actually with more or less like confirming it, because these chords which go outside and then have this tension, because they use notes which are not in the basic scale or in the basic key. They're not diatonic, so they create tension. But these chords which we are talking here about, they want to resolve back to the tonics. They don't, or not to the tonic, but to the tonality, or to a chord really diatonic to the tonalities. So that's these structures, these chords, we are looking for here. So we ask this question. Okay, we have a certain key. What is all belonging to that in Western music? So, for example, we have like secondary dominants. Secondary dominants are extensions. They extend the diatonic scale, but they're not destroying it. They lead back to it. Yeah, they use notes which are foreign to the diatonic scale, but they create sort of leading tones, tones which want to resolve back. And then we have in minor, for example, we have the Neapolitan chord, which is also using like the flat second degree of the scale, which is also not diatonic, but it really nicely leads back to the dominant and then back to the tonic. Or we have augmented sixth chords, which are also like chromatic alterations, which lead either to the dominant or to the tonic chord. So this is actually, these are all extending the tonality, but they're all like belonging to that tonality. So without destroying it, and that's actually like a very similar thinking as when you have a makam or raga. So there are certain things are possible, certain things are extending it. Extending, for example, a rag. They are they are, for example, like a mishra rag. That means you have a certain raga, but you include other notes which are not in the raga. But you have to, of course, do it in a very nice way that you always come back to the raga. That you're not like suddenly completely somewhere else, so you just in a way you just extend it, or you just create tension in a way, but leading back immediately. Same with makam. I mean, when you have in Turkish music, when you have taksim, when you have these long improvisations like bash taksim, so before the actual composition starts in a certain makam, you can really invent. You can be really creative with going in all kind of directions, but you have to make sure, of course, that at the end you somehow come back to the original scale or original makam, which is also the makam of the composition, so that you're not doing like an introduction and you're somewhere else, and then the composition starts somewhere else. So. And also you have, like in a makam, for example, you have certain things you actually have to do. you have to show certain other tetra and pentachords. I don't want to explain like everything on Makam here now, because I already put out a lot of stuff and lessons for that. So if you don't get it, I mean, don't care too much. But of course, if you're interested in that, you can go to these lessons. So in a Makam, actually, there are some tetrapentachords you have to show to really say I'm in that tonality or that scale or that Makam. But others are also possible without destroying the Makam too much. They're like very near, or they easily lead back to the original scale, or to the original tonic, Makam, tetra or pentachord. And there are others which are not really, I mean, they're really far off, or they sound really harsh to suddenly go there to other tetra and pentachords. So you would never say that like this is like an extension of that Makam. Those are really like modulations. You go somewhere else, and then you have to come back to the original one. So, and that's the same here with of course with Western music, Western harmony. You can go very far and you can do everything, but when you're in tonal music, you have a certain key. Mostly you try to end this, or also to start this piece on the tonic, or to go to at least to the end. You want to end it on the tonic chord. Otherwise, it would be strange to call it a certain key, which is not actually happening at the end. So your home base is different than your key. It's more rare. So I hope you got this idea here. We just look at kind of very strict on like Western harmony, on like in this case on this E major key, E major tonality, and we look what is possible there, like how far can we extend it, or what are the typical tools and devices how to extend it, and without destroying it, coming back to it. So what is our bigger field that we can say, okay, now we have a kind of an overview, we have all these different sounds, different tools, we know how to think and how to hear, how to resolve them, and everything else will be like more like modulation. Yeah, and that we can, then we actually change to a different key, but because we know already everything kind of about one key, we just have to transpose the whole thing, and then we are in a different key. So then actually we have the whole field of a key, of a tonality, and then we can go to other fields, and they are just actually transpositions then. And also you can say, in a way, we think about a key as a kind of a raga or makam. Like we think about, we play more in a linear way, like more melodic. We are thinking more like also scales always, combine that with the chords. And so we can also, we have this basic scale, the diatonic scale, and we have all the other notes and all the other extensions which we use, so to speak, in the makam or raga of E major, or the E major tonality. And like makam and European classical music is in a way quite connected, because in a makam we also change the temporary roots. Yeah, we go to different roots and progressing in a certain way and coming back to the tonic root, to the karar tone of the makam. That's very similar to Western music, where we all do all these progressions. We also change the different roots, have like temporary chord scales, temporary tonalities, or like extensions of the tonality, and then we go back to the tonic. All right, so I hope that is clear in a way. And why am I talking so much about that in that lesson? It's because we are dealing here now with two chords, two chromatic chords in E major, which I do not really consider too much in the music I'm playing, which I actually do not like too much. They're a bit like in a way like cliche, or they open like a kind of a door, which is like leading away more from that what I'm from this from this aesthetic or whatever what I'm striving for. But as I said, I want to give you here like a complete picture about key, what is possible, what can be done in the key. So I have to consider like this period of Baroque, classical, romantic period, which is really like this Western harmony thing, and I have to consider these periods and have like a complete picture of what is tonality. So maybe later on in a certain if I think, okay, this is a nice note here, actually like a chromatic note in the key, then I know, oh, actually it's coming from that, what we were discussing today, and then maybe I go more into that. Then I have already opened a door where I think, oh, that's actually nice. That's a nice way to think, and so actually I just want to have the complete field, the complete material, all the chords, all the possibilities, chord scales of one key, of one tonality in front of me. And then I can think about what to do with that. How can I come to there? How can I come to there? And so on. To be really creative with that. And really and knowing that this is kind of all. Okay, and the two chords we are discussing today here in that lesson are the raised 1 and 3 chords of 2 and 6 in E major. So what does it mean? 2 and 6. The 2, and by the way, I got this, actually I learned this this terminology from a book of Walter Piston. He wrote a nice like harmony book on classical, on Western harmony, and there I found this concept. I knew these chords before, like in jazz they are really like frequently happening, but this kind of an explanation was kind of new to me, because it's really explained by altering certain notes in a tonality. But I will tell you now. So the 2 chord in E major is F sharp minor, and we take an F sharp minor 7, so a 7th chord on the 2nd degree of E major, and we will alter certain notes. We will alter the root and the 3rd. So that's why it's called raised 1 and 3. Yeah, so it's like a 2 raised 1 and 3 means we have a 2 chord, in this case a 2 minor 7, F sharp minor 7. and we raise. So raise means in this case alter by 1/2 step. We raise the root F sharp to F double sharp, and we raise the A to A sharp. And when we do that, we have a kind of we have actually many names for that, but we can say it's an F double sharp diminished 7th chord. And of course this or we say it's like a G diminished 7th chord if we don't want to have this double sharp terminology. So like enharmonic spellings. Of course, on every note, this chord is a diminished 7th chord because it's just a repeating structure that just dividing the octave into 4 minor thirds. Okay, and this chord, this F sharp minor 7, going to that chord, really resolves to the tonic. Yeah, or we can play it. We can play it here also. Yeah, we can have like all these different kinds of inversion. And the way it's resolving actually when we go to the tonic is that we have like a doubled perfect fifth of the tonic. So this chord, and you find this in notation also on the PDF, which you should download. Follow the link in the description. So F sharp minor 7, then this diminished chord, and then the E stays. The F double sharp, as the name suggests, goes up, and the other two notes, A sharp and C sharp, they both resolve to the B. Yeah? Okay, that's the idea. And there are also other resolutions possible. We can, for example, we can go from for example, we can go in blues. In blues, we have a dominant 7th chord on the 4th degree. That's also like a kind of a cliche. What we can do, we can play this A dominant 7. We just have to change one note to this chord we're talking about, and then it resolves also to the tonic. Or we can do it like that. For example, that's really like a cliche here. So F sharp minor 7. With A in the bass. It's also, we can also call that an A like a subdominant chord with a 6th added. So A6 or subdominant 6. And then we go to raised 1 and 3 of F sharp minor 7. And then we can resolve this very nicely to tonic with 5th in the bass, so going to B7, going to the tonic. So that's really this typical cliche. That's also the typical resolution from that chord. Or instead of this F sharp minor inversion or A6 chord, we can use an A7th chord. Then we have the dominant chord. Then we only have to alter, in this case, the root, but still we can think, okay, it's a sharp 4 chord, but actually when we follow this procedure here of this also Walter Piston book, we are not really thinking this as a sharp 4 chord, but as a 2 chord with a raised 1 and a raised 3. Yeah, so the A is a 3 which we just raise. So this A sharp diminished chord actually comes from F sharp minor, or A6 you can also say, but F sharp minor 7, F sharp minor 7, and which is diatonic to the key. So we have a real diatonic chord going to a chromatic alteration and resolve it to a real diatonic chord. So we create tension, we go out, we extend the tonality, and we come back immediately. So it's not too much disturbing that we think suddenly, oh, we are in a new key. No, that's we just extend it. We just bring in more colors and be really careful that we resolve it in the right way, so that we do not destroy the tonality. Another resolution would be to go to the secondary dominant of the subdominant. So we can have like the F sharp minor 7. In this case, we have E in the bass, the 7th. Then we go to our raised 1 and raised 3, and then we don't go to our tonic, but we go to our dominant 7th chord, E dominant 7th, secondary dominant to our subdominant chord. All right. The other possibility, what we also have, another resolution, would be F sharp minor 7, raised 1 and 1 and 3, and then instead of playing the E7, we go to G sharp diminished, which is also has also secondary dominant function to A. In this case, we can easily go to A minor, to the minor subdominant. So this G sharp diminished is actually like an E7 flat 9 without the root. So what we are doing, we go from F sharp minor 7, diatonic, to the chromatic raised 1 and 3, and then we just shift the whole thing half step higher, and then we resolve it to A minor. And then we can go to B7, back to the tonic. Yeah, and without playing all this all the time like E major and dominant B7 to E tonic. We still feel, after playing all these chords and resolving it to E tonality, to E major, that we feel it's home base, and that's actually the whole the idea of all these different concepts. So we go out, but actually when we go back to the key, to the tonality, through the tonic, we really feel home there. Okay, so, and we can also what we can do with this chord, also to play it as a kind of a in German it's like Wechselakkord. It means like changing chord. So we can change from tonic to that chord back to tonic. So we have the tonic, for example. We can play it like that, yeah, with 2 Bs, and go to that chord and back, and you find this also on the pages on the PDF. Yeah. So we have a sort of an E diminished chord. Yeah, you can also use this as a suspension, you know, in jazz it is frequently used as a suspension chord. So on the where you expect the tonic, you play the diminished seventh chord or diminished chord of the tonic and then resolve it. And you can also play it here. It's also nice. Just remember. Yes. So the that's also written down there in the PDF. And instead of going back, you can also go from this 6 in the key, the C sharp. You can also go up to the tonic, to the root pitch. So. And that is really kind of a cliche. I think you really you heard this kind of progression before, and now you have a very nice explanation for that. Okay, did I miss something here? Okay, scale. The scale for this chord. We can take like a whole tone, half tone, like an 8-note scale, yeah, to really to play this. But we can also think a bit differently, and that's quite interesting actually. If we sing the normal scale, which we play on the second degree chord, F sharp minor or F sharp minor 7, it's actually Dorian. Yeah? We play. Now we have these two alterations, like raised 1 and 3. So these two notes, F sharp and A, are a half step higher. And if we take all other notes the same, actually what we are reaching here is actually like A flat or G sharp harmonic minor. But of course our root is kind of the G here. So we have and then yeah, so you can check out that scale so it's A flat harmonic minor, but the root is G. Interestingly, also it's also like this bridge, this to Turkish makam music. Actually, what's very connected here with this chord, with this scale, also is like Müstear. Müstear has G sharp as a root, and as güçlü, as most important or very important note, the B. So these are two chord tones of E major tonality. But at the same time, it has this G or F double sharp in this case, also F double sharp G as a leading tone, and the A sharp also as a kind of a in-between tone, passing tone, to to B, mostly up. So that would be like this. Of course, using microtones, but it's not so important here now. Of course, now I'm always playing this this G sharp as a root, because that's the root of Müstear. In a way, it's like this Müstear is like E major, yeah, with a third as the most prominent as a bass, the root note, and the G sharp, but it has also in the scale, incorporated in this E major scale, it has these two raised pitches. Yeah, this F double sharp and A sharp. So it's like in a way it's exactly the connection of key, diatonic, and these two chromatic notes, which also behave in the same way as an E major. Yeah, the resolution is the same. F double sharp to G sharp and A sharp to B. All right, but you find all this stuff also on this PDF here for this lesson. I want to just go briefly to the other chord, to the raised 1 and 3 chord on the 6th degree, because it's actually the same principle, but of course resolving to a different chord. The 6th degree is C sharp minor, and again we take like C sharp minor 7. So it's like the tonic parallel chord, so tonic parallel of, or relative, I think relative you say. Actually the symbol is TP in Germany, it's Riemann system. The function is like the, yeah, I think it's a relative, in English it's relative of E major, of course. What you do, raise the 1 and raise the 3, so you have, and this is really like resolving to the dominant chord, dominant 7th chord, which then goes back to the tonic. Also, this is used as this kind of changing chord, so also suspension chord. So we have the dominant chord, yeah, very typical in jazz. And then resolving or to the tonic back. It can also resolve actually to the dominant flat 9 without the root. So we can do that. We can go from to that diminished, going to half step higher everything, and to the tonic. But actually, I do not really, I'm not really a big fan of these chromatic shiftings of every note. I think this is very interesting, this voice leading here, that you, yeah, that one note is staying while movement is happening with the other notes, chromatic movement. So you have like, or these are actually this is actually the voice leading here. Yeah, we go from inside the scale, the 6th of the scale, the root of the scale, to the sharp, from C sharp to D, C double sharp, and from E to E sharp. Both are not in the diatonic scale, and then we resolve that to D sharp and F sharp. So that's actually the chromatic movement, and it leads us back to the tonality, back in this case to the dominant chord. All right, I think that's it for the lesson. As I said, I'm not really I'm not using that too much. That's also why I do not give you here like some examples of playing it in a horizontal way, improvising with that in the more modal style, because I think it's not really fitting too much. I mean, of course, these notes we can use like these chromatic alterations, but not. I would not use them in this context too much. Maybe when we play like Müstear in a linear way, or also Sega, then it's nice to incorporate these other pitches in the scale in a more linear way. But really thinking these raised 1 and 3 chords, in a way they bring like a real kind of a cliche. But the purpose of this lesson was to give a complete picture, so that you have it and you can decide for yourself. But you have the whole field when we had all these lessons here on E major tonality. Okay, that's it for the lesson. Please, if you like these lessons here, I really hope that it gives you some interesting stuff, some stuff which brings you forward. And please subscribe then to my channel and push the bell, because every week a new video will be released, so you get notifications for that. And beside downloading the PDF which supports my channel, you can also donate. So there's also a link in the description below to my website, hoophildenbrand.com. There this Academia page, and there you find a button where you can also donate. So to really support, to get involved here, and that the whole channel thing will go on, because there's more stuff to cover. All right, thanks for watching. My name is Hoophildenbrand.